GDPR, POPIA, LGPD, CCPA, DPDP, and PDPL. If acronyms like these haunt your nightmares, then I think this video about ISO 27701 is for you. ISO 27701 is more commonly known as the PIMS standard, or the Privacy Information Management System standard. That may sound like yet another acronym in what is already feeling like an alphabet soup, but here's the thing. ISO 27701 aims to be a one-stop solution to being compliant with a range of data and privacy-focused rules and regulations, much like all the ones we mentioned above. This means that one standard, implemented well, communicates to all your customers, partners, and authorities that you take data privacy seriously. So, in this video, we're going to talk about everything ISO 27701. We'll talk about what it is its purpose, what are the benefits of getting compliant with it, and finally, how to get ISO 27701 compliant. The one question we won't answer is what is the difference between ISO 27001 and 27701, because we've already made a video of that, which you can watch in the top right corner right now. So, what is ISO 27701? ISO 27701 comes from the ISO 27000 family of standards. The 27000 series focuses primarily on IT security, cybersecurity, and privacy protection, all of which are vital for companies and organizations in the modern day. You've probably even heard of ISO 27701's older brother, ISO 27001, where ISO 27001 helps companies build and maintain an information security management system, ISMS. ISO 27701 helps companies build a privacy information management system, PIMS, all the way from establishing and implementing to maintaining and continually improving. ISO 27701, much like GDPR, assumes that your company falls into one of two categories, depending on how your company manages PII, or personally identifiable information. There are PII processors and PII controllers. Simply put, a controller is the entity from whom the data originates, and a processor is the entity who processes the data on behalf of the controller. So, let's get started with the first question. What is the purpose of ISO 27701? Countries care about their citizens. Well, some do. And as more humans spend more and more of their time on the internet, digital rights are becoming indistinguishable from human rights. The EU took the first real crack at this with GDPR, and that will set the ball rolling for several other countries. South Africa launched POPIA, Brazil launched LGPD, California has a CCPA, India is implementing DPDP, and Saudi Arabia just released the PDPL. For a multinational company or even a fast-growing startup, this is a problem because non-compliance is not an option. If you have 750 million euros lying around, then maybe it's an option. But for every other company, compliance with these multiple frameworks is a massive challenge. And that's where ISO 27701 steps in. ISO 27701's aim was to provide a truly international approach to privacy protection as a component of information security. Now that we know the purpose of the framework, let's discuss the advantages of ISO 27701. The first advantage has more to do with ISO than ISO 27701. And that is its universal appeal. You see, the ISO 27000 series is a globally recognized standard, and ISO 27701 in specific is a way to demonstrate to customers across the world that you take privacy information management seriously. Having it demonstrates your organization's position as a leader in the field, which gives you a competitive advantage. The second advantage is its broadness. ISO 27701 is the industry standard to comply with data protection legislations. Even though ISO 27701 aligns with the principles of GDPR, it also allows organizations to document compliance with a range of other privacy laws, regulations, and standards, like the ones we mentioned up above. The third advantage borrows from the second, and it is flexibility. Not only does ISO 27701 work if you operate in a country that's not the EU, it also works if you're operating in multiple geographies and have to deal with multiple laws and regulations at the same time. If your company, say, is headquartered in the EU or the US, but also has operations outside of it, and you want to follow the equivalent territory-specific guidelines like GDPR, you can bring those judicial specifics into the ISO 27701 framework. The fourth and final advantage is easier business. ISO 27701 sets a standard for how privacy data is managed, and in doing so makes the process transparent for all stakeholders, engendering trust and mutual respect. This makes it easier to sign agreements and work with vendors and prospective customers. Consider another example. Companies that put the effort in to get ISO 27701 compliant are much more likely to sign deals with other companies that are also ISO 27701 compliant. This means more close sales, easier vendor onboarding, and much shorter sales cycles. So, how do you get ISO 27701 compliant? There's a couple of things to keep in mind when getting compliant. First off, you can only pursue ISO 27701 if you are already ISO 27001 compliant. This may feel like a deal breaker, but in fact, it is actually extremely easy to get both done together at the same time. It also makes it more inexpensive than getting both separately. Second, if you're looking to get compliant, there's two ways Sprinto can help. One is an ISO 27001 checklist, which you can download for absolutely free from the link in the description below. The second is compliance automation. By digitizing and automating the compliance process, Sprinto helps thousands of companies just like yours get ISO 27001 and 27701 compliant faster and more effectively, and year-round, not just during an audit cycle. Companies just like yours that get compliant with Sprinto save up to 80% of their cost, time, and effort during the compliance process. Learn more by visiting sprinto.com or book a demo with our ISO experts using the link in the description and comment section below. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. We'll get back to you as soon as possible.